Everyone, welcome back to the new Taekook ONESHOT. Hope you will love it. The sun was shining brightly through the classroom window. It was the first week of the new semester. Students were still adjusting, chatting loudly, and trying to find their seats. Jungkook walked into the lecture hall, his headphones on, hands in his pocket. He wasn't really paying attention to anyone, just looking for a spot to sit where no one could bother him. But something caught his eyes. At very front row, near the window, a boy sat with his head down, completely focused on the thick book in front of him. His brows were slightly frowned, lips moving slowly as if he was reading silently. He wore round glasses. Jimin Tae, I'm telling you, the professor last semester gave the easiest midterm. You don't need to study that hard already. But Taehyung didn't stop. His eyes stayed on the book. He gave small hums and nods to let Jimin know he was listening, but not once did he look away from the page. Jungkook stopped walking for some reason. He couldn't move. His eyes were stuck on Taehyung. The way Taehyung looked, so calm, so focused, even with someone talking beside him, it was different. He didn't seem like he was trying to impress anyone. He wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, but to Jungkook he stood out more than anyone else in the room. Jungkook thinking, who is he? He had seen Taehyung before, or maybe he had, but settled his head a little and continued watching. Taehyung gently tugged a strand of hair behind his ear and scribed something in the notebook. His lips curled into a small smile as he finally stopped. Responded to something Jimin said, and that smile, so soft, so genuine, hit Jungkook straight to his chest. Jungkook whispering to himself, interesting. He didn't even realize he had spoken out loud. For the first time, Jungkook felt a strange pull towards someone he didn't know. He didn't understand it, but he knew that the boy Taehyung was different. From that day on, Jungkook found himself looking for Taehyung in class, even if he didn't say a word to him. Even It was a quiet Friday afternoon. The sun peeked through the classroom window as Jungkook walked down the corridor in the lecture hall, dragging his feet. Jungkook muttering, "Why do we have a lecture on Friday? What a boring way to end the week." He turned the corner and suddenly bumped into someone. The guy fell on the ground with a small thud. Jungkook looked down and surprised. It was Taehyung, the quiet boy from the class, the so-called nerd, always wearing the round glasses with neatly combed hair, perfect uniform, and always sitting in front row. Jungkook thinking, wait, it's Taehyung. Just then, Jimin, Taehyung's best friend, come rushing. Jimin, hush, Taehyung. Watch where are you going? Jimin had Taehyung get up, dusted off his uniform, adjusted his glasses. Then Jimin dragged Taehyung into the lecture hall. Jungkook stood there, confused, staring after them. Jungkook mumbling, that was weird. He sighed and followed them inside. After a long, boring lecture, Jungkook sat up with his loud and energetic best friend Hoseok. Hoseok, bro, club tonight? Jungkook, of course. I need a break after that boring class. Hoseok, grinning. Maybe tonight you will find someone special, huh? Jungkook, rolling his eyes. No one really catches my eyes. Hoseok, there must be someone. Just wait and see. The two laughed as they made their way to the club and their friends. The club was loud and filled with flashing lights. Jungkook drank a little, but not too much. He watched his friends dancing wildly on the dance floor, but he stayed behind, sitting at the table. After a while, Jungkook got up, feeling a little dizzy, and made his way to the washroom. He bumped into a people along the way, but managed to get there. On his way back, his head felt heavy and his steps were unsteady. He was about to fall when someone catched him gently. If he can't walk straight, maybe you don't drink so much. Jungkook looked up, his eyes widened. The person holding him was absolutely beautiful. Soft features, slightly curled hair falling over his forehead, and his lips pulpy and pink. So familiar. Before Jungkook could say anything, someone called from behind Jim and Taehyung, "Are you okay?" Nodding, "Yeah, Hyung, he is a classmate." Jungkook's mouth fell open. Jungkook, Taehyung. Jungkook, you look so different. Taehyung, clenching. Well, everyone looks different outside class, don't they? Jungkook stared at Taehyung for a long moment. He was still holding on to him. Taehyung softly, "Come on, let me take you back to your seat." Jungkook nodded, and suddenly he stopped walking. He turned and gently pushed Taehyung back, pinning him against the hallway wall, but not forcefully. Their faces were close, and the noise of the club felt distant. Jungkook whispering, "Who knew the quiet class nerd would look this beautiful at night?" Taehyung felt a shiver run down his spine. His cheeks turned red. Taehyung, Jungkook, what are you doing? Jungkook, I don't know. I can't stop looking at you. Their eyes locked without thinking too much. Jungkook leaned in. Jungkook, you look so. They pulled away just a few inches apart. Them whispering, "We are still in public." Jungkook is smiling. "I know. That's why I'm asking. Will you come with me somewhere quieter just to talk?" Taehyung blushing, I can't. I work here." Jungkook sighed but didn't push him. Jungkook, then maybe we can sit somewhere and talk for a bit. Taehyung thought for a second. Taehyung, there is a small staff room upstairs. I can take a break for a few minutes. The room was small and quiet. A small lamp glowing in the corner. Jungkook and Taehyung sat side by side on the small sofa. They didn't say anything at first. Then Jungkook turned towards Taehyung. Jungkook, I always thought you were interesting, but I never had the courage to talk to you. Taehyung, the campus heartthrob, didn't have and look at Jungkook with soft eyes. Then I always saw you from afar. You were so cool. I'd never thought you would even notice me. Jungkook, I did a lot more than you think. Their faces in closer again. This time Taehyung closed the gap. The kiss was slow and meaningful. It felt like the start of something. Jungkook ran his fingers through Taehyung's hair gently as they kissed again. He rested his forehead on Taehyung's after Jungkook whispering, "Can I see you again? Not just in class, for real?" Taehyung is smiling, "Yes, but next time no alcohol." Jungkook grinning, "Deal, just me and you, coffee?" Taehyung, "Perfect." They stayed there for a little longer, holding hands, resting in the warmth of each other's presence. No rush, no pressure. The soft light of the lounge bar flickered warmly as Jungkook walked in, dressed in the sleek black shirt, his hair falling softly over his forehead. He wasn't nervous, but his heart beat faster than usual. Tonight wasn't just another night. Taehyung had messaged him earlier, "I will be working late again. Come see me if you are free tonight." And Jungkook was free, but more important, he wanted to see him inside the VIP section of the bar. The music was softer, the crowd thinner. Taehyung stood behind the bar counter in the uniform, looking breathtaking under the golden light. His glasses were off, his hair slightly curled at the ends, and he looked up and saw Jungkook. "Jungkook, can you take a break?" Taehyung is smiling playfully. "For you, always." He slipped out from behind the counter, monitoring for Jungkook to follow him. They walked past the lounge area with a quiet hallway leading to a private VIP room with a soft white curtains and plush couch. The moment the door closed and air shifted, Jungkook turned around, and before he could speak, Taehyung stepped close, very close, and cupped his cheek. Taehyung softly, "I couldn't stop thinking about you after that night." Jungkook, "Me neither. I didn't want it to end." Their faces were just inches apart now. Taehyung, "Then don't let it." And they kissed. He kissed him, slow, sweet, warm. Their lips molded together like they were meant to find each other. Jungkook's hand moved to Taehyung's waist. Their kiss deep and became, but still tender. The world faded around them. Taehyung guided Jungkook gently onto the couch, never breaking the kiss. Their lips moved in perfect rhythm, then parted for the air only to meet again. Jungkook's thumb caressed Taehyung's cheek as his forehead pressed together. Jungkook whispering, "Are you sure?" Taehyung nodding slowly, "Yes, I want to feel you, all of you." The emotion in his eyes said everything. This wasn't lust, this was something deeper, softer. Their breaths grew heavier as they exposed each other with care. Nothing was rushed, every touch was silent promise. They lay together on the couch, skin to skin, tangled in soft blanket they found nearby. Jungkook looked down at Taehyung, brushing his hair with from face. "Jungkook, you are beautiful." Taehyung, "Blessing, you made me feel beautiful." Their hands intertwined the night. They gave themselves to each other, not just their bodies but their hearts. The room filled with soft gas whisper for each other's name and warm kiss, and that never ended. They moved in snatched into and loving like a slow dance under the moonlight. Later, when Taehyung roll in Jungkook's arm. His head rested on her chest. They lay in comfort, silent. The only sound was their heartbeats slowly down together. Taehyung quietly, and have never done this before. Jungkook kissing his forehead. Me neither. I'm glad it was with you. Taehyung is smiling. Me too. They stay like that, wrapped in each other's safe, warm, and full of something neither them had ever felt before, love. The soft light of the morning sun peeped through the curtains of VIP room. The golden rays slowly crept over the floor, reaching the couch where Taehyung was snuggled up to Jungkook's arm. Taehyung stirred slightly, his bare shoulder pressing against Jungkook's chest. His long lashes fluttered as he opened his eyes slowly, only to find himself staring at Jungkook's peaceful face. Their lips slightly parted, their messy hair arm wrapped tightly around him. Taehyung whispering, "He looks like a baby when he sleeps." He couldn't help but smile and track the finger gently along Jungkook's jawline. Jungkook's eyes closed. "You are staring again?" Taehyung startled. I wasn't. I just. Jungkook opened his eyes teasingly. And softly moaning, they stayed quiet for a moment, just holding each other, listening to their breaths. Then Jungkook pulled out a little, looking into Taehyung's eyes. Seriously, Jungkook. Taehyung, Jungkook, I know last night wasn't just a moment, at least not for me. I have liked you for a while, and now I don't want to hide it anymore. Taehyung blinked at him, lips parted slightly in surprise. Jungkook smiling nervously. Will you be my boyfriend? Taehyung's heart skipped a beat. Taehyung, you really mean it? Jungkook nodding. More than anything. Taehyung smiled softly, then leaned in, kissing Jungkook's nose. Taehyung, yes, I want to be yours. Later that day in the class, Taehyung walked into the classroom a bit late, adjusting his turtleneck shirt nervously. He sat in the usual seat, but this time Jungkook walked over, took an empty chair beside him. That was unusual. Jungkook never sat there. Jimin, who sat beside them, immediately raised an eyebrow. Jimin, whoa, since when does Mr. Cool Jungkook sit here? Taehyung pretended to look confused. Taehyung, he just felt like it today. Jungkook is mocking. Yeah, I think this spot suddenly got interesting. Jimin narrowed his eyes suspiciously. Then his gaze dropped to Taehyung's neck. Jimin, what was that on your neck? Is it before he could say a word, Taehyung grabbed a notepad and held it in front of his neck. Taehyung whispering, "Shut up, Jimin." Jungkook tried to hide a grin behind his hand. Jimin gasped dramatically. Taehyung, you fake little fox." Cafeteria lunchtime. It was even more obvious now. Taehyung and Jungkook walked into the cafeteria together side by side. Jungkook carried both their trays. They found an empty table and Jungkook pulled the chair out for Taehyung like a gentleman. Jimin, Hoseok, and Yoongi, who were watching from a distance, nearly choked on their food. Hoseok, is this real? Jungkook just served lunch for someone. Yoongi calmly, I have seen it all now. The three of them hurried over and sat down across from the couple, Jimin grinning. So lovebirds, huh? Taehyung, blessing heart, what lovebirds? Jungkook is smiling proudly. I asked him out this morning. Hoseok, I've seen you confessed. Taehyung covered his face. Why are you making it a big deal? Jimin teasing. And why? What about that lovebird on your neck, huh? I'm whispering, don't you dare, Jimin. They are totally in love, aren't they? Hoseok is smiling. They are. It's written all over their faces. The teasing continued, but Jungkook and Taehyung didn't mind their faces. Fingers bruising under the table, Jungkook gently held Taehyung's hand, hiding under the table. Their hands stayed locked like a slight promise they had found something real and they are not gonna let it go. Not now, not ever. The end. Everyone, how was this one short? Comment me down. I will be back with the next episode of Surrogacy Taekook love story. Hope you will love it. Okay, see you in the next episode of that story. Bye bye.